The story behind the creation of the Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Hayao Miyazaki is an international master of animated films. He is the recipient of the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature Film and the Academy Honorary Award. The Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, which will open in September 2021, has chosen Hayao Miyazaki as the theme for its first special exhibition. As a director, Miyazaki has created 11 animated feature films. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is one of his masterpieces. This work is popular all over the world. However, the road to the production of this animated film was long and difficult. There are two people who are heavily involved in the creation of this work. Isao Takahata and Toshio Suzuki, who later co-founded Studio Ghibli. Takahata was a colleague of Miyazaki. They created the popular animated TV series Heidi, Girl of the Alps, and the animated film The Great Adventure of Horace, Prince of the Sun. Suzuki first met them when he was an editor for the magazine Animage. Suzuki called Takahata to ask an interview when Animage featured The Great Adventure of Horace, Prince of the Sun. Although Takahata refused to be interviewed and introduced Miyazaki instead. As a condition for accepting the interview, Miyazaki demanded the feature be 16 pages long instead of 8. The reason was that he had so many things to talk about that 8 pages were not enough. In the end, the interview didn't take place at the time, but Suzuki, who was interested in them, approached them. Around this time, Miyazaki directed his first feature animated film, Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. The film is now highly popular and acclaimed, but it failed at the box office. Consequently, Miyazaki was never given the chance to direct a film for the next several years. Suzuki, who appreciated Miyazaki's talent, proposed a film project for Miyazaki to Tokuma Shoten, where he worked. Though they rejected the idea, saying that they couldn't make a film without an original story. These words inspired them to unite and say, "Then let's make an original story." As a result, the manga Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind was serialized in Animage. At that time, Miyazaki had the will to create something that could only be drawn in manga. So, each and every frame of this laborious work was drawn in detail. The manga Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind has become so popular that it has finally been given the chance to be made into a movie. Even though Miyazaki hesitated to make a movie of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which he had drawn as a manga that couldn't be made into a movie. To create or not to create, that is the question. He was in the same state of mind as Hamlet. I want to make an animated film. But if I were to make one, it would have to be Nausicaa. I have no choice. Miyazaki made a decision that would change the rest of his life. At last, Tokuma Shoten and Hakuhodo decided to jointly produce the movie Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. The coincidence that Miyazaki's younger brother Shiro worked at Hakuhodo also brought about this good fortune. When Miyazaki decided to make Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind into a film, he had one condition. I want Isao Takahata to be the producer. Suzuki asked Takahata to become the producer. However, Takahata refused, saying that he was not suited to be a producer. Hearing this, Miyazaki invited Suzuki, who could not drink, out for a drink. Then he drank in silence and cried. Seeing Miyazaki in such a state, Suzuki begged Takahata to become the producer again. Suzuki, frustrated with Takahata's continued refusal, yelled at him, "Why don't you help your friend when he is in trouble?" This momentum pushed Takahata to accept the position of producer. There is a sequel to this story. The movie Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind was a huge success and marked the start of Miyazaki's brilliant career. However, Takahata said, "As a producer it's all good, but as a friend, I give it 30 points." This comment upset Miyazaki. Takahata's intention for this statement is as follows. I was hoping to see the present day illuminated back from 1,000 years in the future, when advanced industrial civilization has collapsed. But this movie didn't exactly turn out that way. Miyazaki, who understood Takahata's true intentions, tried to live up to his expectations. After the release of the film, he continued to serialize the manga Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. It took 12 years to complete this work that reflects the present from the future. His manga, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, was highly acclaimed and won the Japan Cartoonist Association Award Grand Prize. The series has more than 17 million copies in circulation. No one would argue that Hayao Miyazaki is a genius. Even though it is also true that Hayao Miyazaki would not exist today if he had not met Isao Takahata and Toshio Suzuki. For Miyazaki, Takahata is his mentor, friend, and good rival. Suzuki is his reliable and excellent business partner for him. Today, the film Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is officially considered a Studio Ghibli work, but at that time of its production, Studio Ghibli was not yet founded. Therefore, strictly speaking, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is not a Studio Ghibli work. Although there is no doubt that it is a monumental work that became the first successful film directed by Hayao Miyazaki at the box office and led to the establishment of Studio Ghibli. Even now, nearly 40 years after its release, it has not lost its luster, but has further enhanced its value